We want to now look at budget lines arising from endowment rather than fixed income. Now, this was our initial assumption that we have fixed or exogenous income, but now we want to look at what if your budget line arises from endowment rather than some fixed or exogenous income, what we initially assumed. Now, this brings us to what is an endowment. Now, an endowment is an initial bundle of goods owned by a consumer. This should not be earned, this should be owned by a consumer. So, an endowment is an initial bundle of goods owned by a consumer whose market values determine the consumer's income. This is not earned, this is owned by a consumer. Now, when budget constraints arise from endowment, the amount of money available to the consumer is not fixed, rather, it depends upon the prices of the goods you're endowed with. Since you have to sell some of the endowment to get money, such income isn't exogenous, right? And it's a function of prices. Initially, we assume we have fixed or exogenous income, where the dollar which is like a fixed dollar amount of income available to you regardless of the prices in the economy. But now when you have budget constraints arising from endowment, your income is endogenously determined by prices the consumer faces in the market, because you have to sell some of your endowment at market prices to get income. So in this case we have endogenous income which is dependent upon prices. So when you have budget constraints arising from endowment, your income is endogenous. It's endogenously determined by prices in the market, because you have to sell some of your endowment at market prices to get income. Because the consumer owns the endowment, like we said, it's an initial bundle of goods owned by a consumer whose market value determines this income. And such income is endogenous income. Because the consumer owns the endowment bundle, he or she always has the option of consuming that bundle regardless of what prices of the goods in the market are. Because you own that bundle, it's an initial bundle that you own, so you always have the option of consuming that bundle because you own it. So endowment bundle will always lie on the budget line even if prices change. So no matter what prices in the economy are, your endowment bundle will always lie on your budget constraint, because remember your budget line shows all those combinations of X1 and X2 that cost exactly equal to income. These are affordable bundles that cost exactly equal to income. And because you own the endowment bundle, you always have the option of consuming it. So it's always going to lie on your budget line. It's always going to be affordable to you.